What do you think happened to the students of North Shore High School after graduation? Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're asking where the Mean Girls characters are now. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're playing out a what-if scenario and looking at what we imagine would have happened to each of our favorite Mean Girls characters after the events of the movie.
School used to be like a shark tank, but now I could just float.
Let's start off with everyone's favorite badass MC, Kevin Napor.
Oh, you sucker MCs ain't got nothing on me.
Kevin made quite the impact in Mean Girls despite his relatively small role, making him one of the most unforgettable characters in the story.
Don't let the haters stop you from doing your thing.
Did you just say thang?
At the end of the movie, he's finally dating Janice, but we're sorry to say that we have a feeling that relationship wouldn't last. He's definitely still a math genius, but we don't think he made a career out of it because he was too busy pursuing his dreams of becoming a rapper.
Let me give you my card.
We know he's got the skills, and that one day he'll achieve his dream of becoming the next Kendrick Lamar. Don't let the haters stop you from doing your thing, Kevin.
Cause the next time you see her, she'll be like, Kevin G.
Thank you, Kevin, that's enough.
You go, Glen Coco.
Glen Coco? Fall for you, Glen Coco. You go, Glen Coco.
Damien was welcoming to Katie from her very first day at her new school, and forgave her even after she went plastic. Deep down, we know he's a great guy with a heart of gold, and we're confident he would have left Evanston, Illinois soon after graduation to settle somewhere a little more trendy, like Los Angeles.
She doesn't even go here.
He's probably working in a creative field, possibly as an art director in Hollywood. We would not say that Damien is too gay to function, because we think he would have happily settled down with another nice professional guy and adopted several adorable babies. And don't worry, he and Janice keep in touch, and he always visits when he can.
Look, I'm a queen.
As am I.
Speaking of Janice, she's another Evanston resident who we bet hightailed it out of there as soon as she got her diploma.
There are two kinds of evil people. People who do evil stuff and people who see evil stuff being done and don't try to stop it.
Does that mean I'm morally obligated to burn that lady's outfit?
Considering her grungy yet artsy aesthetic, we think Janice probably would have headed to New York to study at NYU, probably living in the East Village, and falling in with a crowd of outsiders just like her. We think she probably would have become a big advocate for the LGBTQ community, after all of the bullying she received in high school over Regina thinking she was a lesbian.
I am so sorry, Regina. Really, I don't know why I did it. I guess it's probably because I've got a big lesbian crush on you. Suck on that!
We imagine that she'd have a successful career in the art world, and would eventually become an artist in residence at the MoMA. Now, what about everyone's favorite cool mom, Mrs. George?
There are no rules in this house. I'm not like a regular mom. I'm a cool mom.
Since her daughters are all grown up, and she doesn't have any teenagers around the house to keep her young anymore, we have a feeling that she'd find a way to relive her youth by getting involved in the pageant circuit. She and Mr. George are still together, but rarely see each other as their house is so massive. Realistically, by now, she'd probably be trying to be a cool grandmother as well as a cool mom.
Could you go fix your hair?
Okay. You girls keep me young. I love you so much.
At the end of Mean Girls, Katie and Aaron Samuels are together despite the fact that he went to study at Northwestern in Chicago. We know that long-distance relationships are hard to maintain, so we have a feeling these two wouldn't have had a happily ever after. Aaron was never exactly an intellectual, so we have a feeling he would have dropped out of school in order to take advantage of his good looks and pursue acting.
No!
Though his career hasn't been a resounding success, he did manage to get cast as himself in the hottest new Ariana Grande video. Oh, and of course he still looks sexy with his hair pushed back. Now that we've covered some of the secondary characters, let's get to the plastics themselves. When Mean Girls ended, it was revealed that Karen Smith had begun doing weather reports because her breasts can always tell when it's going to rain. Or when it's already raining.
It's 68 degrees, and there's a 30% chance that it's already raining.
She must have ESPN or something.
I'm kind of psychic. I have a fifth sense.
We have a feeling she'd be able to coast on her appearance and make a career out of this, likely rising to prominence as a weather girl for a major national network. Let's just say she doesn't do her own meteorological research though. We think she probably would have settled down with one of the anchors of the show she works on. Also, she finally learned that, in fact, there are white people in Africa.
So if you're from Africa, why are you white?
Oh my god, Karen, you can't just ask people why they're white.
Her hair is so big because it's full of secrets, and she can't help that she's popular.
I'm sorry that people are so jealous of me, but I can't help it that I'm popular.
Gretchen Wieners was the most precarious member of the Plastics, but we have a feeling she'd go on to be the most successful. The actress who played Gretchen, Lacey Chabert, had a few ideas of her own about where her character would be today. And we have to say it aligns pretty well with what we had imagined.
I think Gretchen's probably married with like 10 little babies running around.
10?
Feeding them toaster strudel every morning.
Gretchen would definitely take over her father's company, Toaster Strudel, and she's probably wearing hoop earrings every damn day. In her own clique at least, she managed to make fetch happen.
That is so fetch.
Gretchen, stop trying to make fetch happen. It's not going to happen.
Mean Girls protagonist Katie grew up in Africa and found herself out of her element when she arrived at North Shore High School.
Jumbo!
What?
She managed to adapt to her new environment, however, rising and falling in the school's social scene. By the end of the film, she'd come into her own and was happily dating Aaron Samuels, leaving the Plastics behind.
Okay. Cool.
Though at first she may have had a difficult time at North Shore, she actually ended up staying there long after graduation, following in Miss Norbury's footsteps and becoming the school's math teacher after being mentored by her, putting her nerd skills into practice.
And now, I'm gonna push you, because I know you're smarter than this.
Thanks, Miss Norbury.
We imagine she'd also work as the guidance counselor and would do a great job advising students on difficult social situations.
When I think about how many people wanted this, and how many people cried over it and stuff, I mean, I think everybody looks like royalty tonight.
Now we know what you've all been waiting for. What happened to the mean girl herself, Regina George? Well, what have all the most popular kids from your high school been up to in the last 15 years?
She has 2 Fendi purses and a silver Lexus.
I hear her hair's insured for $10,000.
I hear she does car commercials in Japan.
Probably not a whole lot. Regina continued to pursue her lacrosse hobby, channeling her negativity into the violence of the sport rather than terrorizing those around her. We think she probably would have stayed in Evanston, opting not to go to college because she didn't get into any of the schools that she applied to.
Boo, you whore.
We think she probably would have settled down with Shane Oman and had a couple of kids in quick succession, with aspirations of becoming a cool mom just like hers was before her. In her spare time, she coaches the girls' lacrosse team.
Thank you.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from MsMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.